The Extinguisher 986 is here. I'm an actor in Los Angeles. For all you new folks who are here, I got the gig actually because one of my sketch partners in my mod sketch team at the Upright Citizens Brigade here in Los Angeles, her name is Carolina, and she had hit up our group about this project. It was pretty vague, the description of it, but that they were going to need elves and engineers and a hacker character for this Christmas special that was going to be live streamed on Twitch. It was a paid gig. I was like, yeah, man, that sounds fun. I would totally play an elf or whatever. I looked at the character. I submitted myself for it, got a call back from one of the producers, Dakota, who was amazing. You guys, everyone, let me just start there. Everyone at Beyond the Summit, which is where they produced this special, it was awesome, man. Everybody was so professional. It was so much fun to work with everyone there. They made it as easy as possible to be as creatively, to explore as creatively as we wanted to. So there was some technical difficulties in that stream, but I can tell you, holy cow, you have no clue how many moving parts happened to make that stream work. It was an incredibly technically challenging production because you had to take two live streams, separate live streams, and meld them into one essentially and transfer the audience to that one. It was insanely challenging. It was a really cool project. I learned a lot, and of course it inspired me. I finally got to live stream in front of an actual audience that is there to watch a live stream performance, and it was cool. It was a lot of fun, and I want to do stuff like that more. I read the character breakdowns and I pitched myself for the hacker because they were looking for someone who could speak a foreign language, who knew computer terminology, not necessarily a hacker, who was a gamer, could play characters. So it had to hit a lot of boxes of specific things they were looking for. And originally, they wanted a Russian guy or a French guy to play the hacker character who didn't speak any English at all. It was just like this foreign hacker who hacked the system, and they ended up actually I got hired as one of the engineers, and the original actor who they cast for the hacker role and spoke French ended up dropping out of the project for whatever reasons. And they called me and they're like, hey, can you come in and sort of test, and see if they like you as this character? So I went in. It obviously worked out, so showed up and worked for a few hours, got to meet Jerma, and he shared his insanely complicated vision, which I'm sure, at least for me, for a layman, it was tough to follow at first. I was like, whoa, what is happening here? But as he, laid it out scene by scene, his idea, and they gave me different little inspirational things and places the character could go on spreadsheets. And then, also checked out some of Jerma's channel and last year's holiday special. And so just to get a feel of, what the channel is, what his fans are like. Still, even with all of that, I didn't really understand sort of the influence and impact that he has on this gaming community. It ended up being a really great gig, a really cool gig that opened me up to a whole bunch of new people. My Reddit post has been viewed at almost 500,000 times. It's the top thing in the Jerma 985 Reddit community. It's crazy how much love you guys have for the Extinguisher. And it was a blast to play. I really loved playing the character. We originally were going to go with a character who speaks with a Spanish accent. He's from some mysterious country in South America, and he was going to be hacking the channel, but it made more sense, especially if we were going to banter back and forth, that the character had to know who Jerma was, what his fans were, mad about, the things that he didn't do or the promises he didn't fulfill, like I'm running jokes essentially on the show. It was funny because when we set up the 1v1, we had run through that like a whole bunch of times on how to set up the game. And I set up the lobby, and of course, the one time we do it live, it doesn't work, and people started popping into the lobby. We're like, whoa, what's happening? So it was wild. It was absolutely wild. So we had to work through that technical difficulty in real time. So that's fun. Yeah, they just gave me a ton of creative freedoms, and you can't ask for more than that when it comes to being an actor and playing characters and stuff like that. Who was the hand and foot stand-in for your stream? Okay, so that was a production assistant. And when I say this production was huge, there was easily, it took about, I don't want to exaggerate on this. It felt like 100 people were on set, but it was more like probably around 30. But yeah, if you guys noticed in the picture on my Reddit here, I'll bring it up on the Reddit post right here. This desk in the background, I zoom in on it, there's a huge hole in it. That's the same table that they used for Bugleberry's satanic ritual that finally merges the live streams together. He stuck his hand and foot through here, and then if you see, there's a little white bar here. That's a light that changed colors from red to green when everything went crazy. And so that's the little production magic behind the scenes kind of thing. He went all out. I get, there was no compromises. He wanted to do the best show possible, and also gave the creative freedom and trusted the actors around him to react, in the ways that he wanted to. So the show went in a certain direction. And that was the cool thing about the show. It's kind of like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, where you have a skeleton of things that you have to hit throughout the show. But what you say around those, the meat around the skeleton, you get to fill in. So it was honestly a dream job, and the job just got easier and easier as the days went on, because I didn't have to do an accent. And all I had to do was sit there and play video Call of Duty for 6 hours. That's not hard. That's like, I could do that. That's if you want to pay me to do that, I'll do that every day. The puzzles that the elves had to do, he's like, the idea that we got puzzle pieces of a puzzle that they're not going to finish and the audience is not going to know why, is hilarious to me. And I'm like, dude, I love this guy. Like, he totally, like, his humor is, I get the humor now. I get where he's going. I get what this whole, as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, I get that. He absolutely crystallized this whole production for us while we were doing rehearsals for this. Honestly, you guys should really be lucky to have someone like Jerma who's spending his own money to do this stuff. There was no sponsors, and I got the backstory. I don't want to tell too much about it, but yeah, I mean, he really cares about you guys. Like, he really gives a shit and wants to put on the best show and make you guys laugh and make you as crazy for the content as you guys are. And it's clear, like, he's doing it the right way. His audience is awesome, and the love was insane. Just absolutely insane that I've gotten in the last 24 hours, less than 24 hours. It's been wild. I got a text from a buddy who I haven't talked to in almost a year. He was like, why am I seeing your face all over Reddit? What's going on? I was like, dude, I had no clue it was going to be this. Jerma did this really cool thing that he likes to do with the whole crew, where everybody took a shot before the stream started. They had Jack Daniels, and they also had cranberry juice. This wasn't a forced thing. Nobody pointed a gun at anybody. It was very voluntary. If you wanted to, cool. If you didn't, cool. But just sort of the camaraderie of, everybody have a great show, take the shot, let's go have a blast. And that's exactly what everybody did. So it was, honestly, it was really, really, really fun. Did you make up your Christmas wish from Santa on the spot, or was it scripted? I laughed so hard at the part. That part was scripted. That was a very specific thing that they wanted me to have as a Christmas wish. So yeah, that was cool. But as far as the reactions to Santa and sort of all that stuff around it, yeah, that was like the 2x4 was scripted. The hands, the portal was obviously scripted. Those are the things we rehearsed and we made sure we roughly had. So yeah. Did they plan who won? Yes, they did. I'll straight up tell you. How tall is Jerma in person? Oh my gosh. I had a feeling this question was coming. I don't know. I'm almost 6 foot. He's about, I'd say 5'9"-ish, 5'10"-ish, somewhere around there. I mean, he wasn't short. I wouldn't consider him short. Elves had liquor and beer. They did have real liquor and beer inside the elf room, and they were encouraged to drink it and have fun. Like they were given no rules. Like you could do anything you want in the elf room. It was actually, it's probably one of the best paid gigs that I've ever done, ever, because they really let you do whatever the hell you wanted, especially if you were an elf. Holy cow. How much prep on Jerma's lore were you given? I was literally given a list of the Jerma lore, you know, and he would explain it to me, like each thing, each sort of backstory behind each one of the bullet points. But I could tell you Jerma worked on this whole thing for close to a year. He put a lot of work and a lot of thought into doing this. And I think he was, at least when I left, he seemed insanely happy with the execution and how it went down. And he was super thankful and just again, just a fun guy to work with. It was true professional. They're saying it's going to be hard to top. I doubt it will be. I think he'll do it if there's any creative brain on the planet. I think he'd be able to pull it off.